Well, last night, since I didn't stay at home, I wrote this talk at Starbucks. Because they're open till 11 o'clock. Some great things have been coming out of being in the moment. Whether you know it or not, this is a wake-up call to be in each moment. And it's nothing like the lava that make you stop forgetting about all that past stuff. The first thing I want to give you is something that I got in meditation just the other day. I can look at the lava from my deck and watch it go by, and I feel like I have VIP seats on creation. I'm watching it, just kind of going on, down, whatever. And here's what I had that came to me, and it came through Spirit. It said this: one cannot change the future by living in the past. Each of us must choose to be awake and alive in now thoughts. In my next moment thought, I choose that which I decide that I'd like to have desired in my future. So it's always about choice. And I'm going to read something. I just heard Louise Hay tell me something. That's interesting. She's talking sometimes. Louise Hay said, real men cry. She said, I've seen enough of them, been around enough of them, and I don't know if I can get through this without it. But this is a love letter to the people of Hawaii. And some of you may have read this, but this is particularly poignant for me, because in 1987, I was really good friends with Marianne Williamson. And I was just stunned that she even knew we existed, really, because she's in New York now. She's not in Montecito where she was. She said, dear people of Hawaii, I know it must be frightening to live in Hawaii right now. I think of you constantly, looking at the sky, checking the internet for environmental updates, talking anxiously to friends and loved ones, telling stories and comforting your children. I hope you realize, thank you, another real man. I hope you realize how many of us, many miles away from you, are thinking of you as you do. So many forces are coming up to the surface from the bottom of things. Life shaking at its core, exploding with fierce intensity of nature. I know many of you realize Hawaii is taking a hit for all of us. Why Hawaii? I think because Hawaii can take it. Unknown perhaps by the media and unnoticed perhaps by many, I have no doubt how many Hawaiians are treating this occasion with reverence, weaving around it an invisible sacred container, honoring the mother, respecting her as she screams, feeling the deep and archetypal messages that erupt from the soul of humanity as they erupt from the center of the earth. Beyond the level of material science, so many ancient powers are being summoned now. Through dance, through song, through prayers, through ceremony, through individual and group meditations, I see the islands of Hawaii surrounded by extraordinary powers, both unleashed and summoned by the volcanic eruptions. And every soul, either native to Hawaii or called to Hawaii, is feeling the multidimensional forces at work as the Earth transforms itself and humanity is carried up in its thrall. Hawaii, they say, is the heart chakra of the Earth. Hers is the heartbeat not only of Earth's mother, but of all her children. She is speaking, and those with ears to hear are listening. Dear Hawaiian brothers and sisters, those of you holding the space of the earth to do what the earth needs to do, through prayers and ritual and love, please know how many of us Know that you're doing it for all of us, and we thank you. We stand in attention and we bear witness as you endure and navigate this stupendous hour. We know how much more is going on than is visible on our TV screens. We salute you. We pray for you. We love you. We are with you. Carry us in your hearts with us as we carry you in ours. May God walk with you. May he bless you and protect you, and the earth on which you live. Amen. Amen. I got through that. It's amazing. When I read that, I was weeping, because I know her. There's a huge heart and a super huge brain. Well, on the fun sort of things, there's some things happening that you probably didn't know that is pretty cool. And thanks to Reverend Kathy, she got me aware of it. Buddha's birthday's on Tuesday. I don't know if you're a Buddhist, it doesn't matter. I'm part Buddhist, I'm like the hybrid, the priest. So who was Buddha and what was that all about? Buddha is not a name, but a title. Like Jesus Christ, that's not his last name. In Sanskrit, the word means a person who is awake. What a Buddha is awake to is the true reality of nature. Simply put, Buddhism teaches that we are all in a fog of illusions created by mistake perceptions and impurities, hate, greed, ignorance. The Buddha is one who is freed from this fog. It is said that when the Buddha dies, he or she is not reborn, but passes into the peace of nirvana, which is not heaven, but a transformed state of existence. So what did Buddha teach? When Buddha achieved enlightenment, he also realized something that he perceived was so far outside of ordinary experiences that he couldn't entirely be explaining it to people. So instead of teaching people what to believe, he taught them to realize enlightenment for themselves. People imagine that to be enlightened is to be blessed out all the time, blissed out all the time, but this is not the case. After achieving enlightenment doesn't necessarily happen all at once. Very simply, enlightenment is defined as thoroughly perceiving the true nature of reality and of ourselves. Enlightenment, then, is not a quality that some people have and others don't. To realize enlightenment is to realize what already is inside. It's not just most of us, it's just that most of us are lost in the fog and can't see it. I love my friend Gautama. He's amazing. If you haven't read the book Siddhartha, read it. It's amazing. Also, I want to bring to your attention our sister organization, Unity. Unity is our sister organization, along with a lot of others, Divine Science. We're all the same family, just brothers and sisters. And I thought it very funny. I showed this to Kathy today. They sent this to me, and it says Unity Village, Unity on the thing. And here on the very front of it, you may have heard this message before. Change your thinking, change your life. I'm like, it is happening. Maybe we'll all be one organization eventually. So,
What would the name be?
that'll probably take 10 years. That's usually what happens, because all the academic people get there and argue over it for 10 years. It'll probably be just a 1 minute, at 1 minute probably. Now back to Ernest Holmes, because we are Science and Mind, so let's go to there. I turned this lava versus peace. I gotta get out of my eyes. Okay. We must think peace. This is Ernest Holmes. We must think peace if we wish to express peace. The mind that is always confused and distraught is not at peace. The mind that is constantly upset and agitated by the little petty things of life is not at peace. It is at war with itself. It is only when the individual mind ceases combating itself that it will stop combating others. We do not know when that far-off divine event will transpire, which shall heal the world of the wounds of war and the memories of ancient strife and the anticipation of a future struggle. All we know as individuals is that it is within our power to control our own thinking, to so order our own mind and thought that we as individuals be surrounded by peace. Peace comes from the absence of fear, from a consciousness of trust, from a divine underlying faith in the absolute goodness and mercy, the final integrity of the universe in which we live, and every cause to which we give our thought, our time, and attention. If we would have peace outwardly, we must first realize peace inwardly. Ernest Holmes. So there's been a lot happening for all of us. And I don't know about you, but I'm definitely in the moment. Can't think about the past, don't care about the future. But I know that if I want a future that is love, then I need to just keep picturing that this event that we are experiencing is finished. It's done. Jesus said, see it as if it's already done. You can get lost in all the details. You can get all crazy all over it. You can even make yourself sick if you really want to. It's up to your mind. Your mind is that part that creates your reality for the future. I know that I am focusing on seeing that everything is peaceful. Everything is restored to an order, that the people in southern Pune are healthy, and that they are well, and that the peace just prevails over this whole thing. And I know that it's hard because when we're in the middle of that, it is very difficult to see the peace, because it's easy to turn on the TV and see things that you're like, what is that? I'm living right on creation, and I turned on TV and I went, that isn't even close to that other place over here. They put two pictures together from two entirely different places, and I thought, people in the mainland think we're like drowning in lava over here. Right. So the truth of it is, it's our duty to tell the truth. And that is to say, yes, we're having an event here. And yes, it is interesting. And yes, there's a lot of things going on. But I know the truth. And the truth is that this too is God, this too is good, and this too is happening for us and the planet. We don't have any idea why that's happening. I sure don't. I thought my farm was just this wonderful little nirvana. And it still is. I just keep saying thank you, God, for all that you give us. The winds, the water, the rains, all the things that you do here on this island. And I think that each of us has an opportunity to hold the truth. Know the truth and let it set you free. It is there. And be compassionate. Be kind. People have lost their homes, their lives, their livelihoods. Unbelievable. And we must open our hearts, not our minds. Our minds are fully developed. You're in the science of mind. It's time now to open your heart. Down here, 13-inch journey from here to here. And that means feel your feelings. Tell the truth. Tell the person that be kind to people. You cannot err when you're kind to people. Be kind to everyone. Everyone. You do not know what they may have suffered in the last 4 hours. You don't even know. And I invite you all to picture Pune back to a state of nirvana, a place of paradise where people come together of like minds to grow great food and to be wonderful citizens of the state of Hawaii and enjoying the planet. And so it is.
Love come down. wanna see my skin glow. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna go with the Lord ain't alone. My girl quickly said to me, man, you better watch your feet. The lava come down soft and hot. You better love me not. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna go with the Lord ain't alone. I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna go with the Lord ain't alone.
Oh, thank you, Ronnie. Thank you. I've been wanting to hear that song for about a month. That song is in my head, so about time to hear it. All right, so we gratefully receive these blessings. We know that they come from the generosity of the hearts of the people here and the consciousness that these pieces of green paper are the symbols of value right now in our world. And we know that they flow through our hands, this bits of value come into our life, add value to our life, and we're so delighted that we can give them forth to nourish this center and grow something that's of value to more people, and the flow continues. And so we gratefully receive this, and we know that it is good, it is beautiful, and it's a symbol of the giving and receiving that is the center of everything. It's how it all works. And so we're grateful for this blessing, and together we say, and so it is.